The Metamorphosis VR is an event. It's a virtual reality experience where participants get to put on the virtual reality hardware and become Gregor Samsa. Even if you've read The Metamorphosis and you love Kafka's work, it's always interesting to re-experience something from a new perspective. And in this case, it's virtual reality because it's a new technology and it allows us to entirely immerse ourselves in the space of a protagonist, which is different than cinema. It's different than radio or photography or opera or theater. The exciting part has been seeing how many school children are coming in from different places in the Czech Republic and getting to experience Kafka's Metamorphosis, often for the first time. They're fascinated by it because it's this technology that allows us to actually embody that insect and have 6 legs and have antennae and mandibles, and then also hear those sounds that would come from what we can imagine insect life might hear. That I think that's what's special about it. This project evolved over 1 year and grew out of the support of the Goethe-Institut in Prague. We came with that idea and were able to hire 3 separate teams of artists, in the end over 30 people, to create this. Instead of just using digital textures and importing them, we hired 2 Czech animators who were working in a classical style to construct Gregor Samsa's room in miniature. And that meant making every book, the bed, the wallpaper, the floor, all his possessions by hand. We then scanned this in 360, which means photographing it and then stitching those photos together, which was done by a group of 3D artists who were able to then reconstruct this space in 3D. At the same time, there was another group of programmers who were hired to just work on Gregor Samsa's body. It took about 6 months total for all 3 of these teams to complete their work and then merge the separate pieces of this puzzle together. And the challenges were, we were trying to do something that's never been done before with creating 6 legs with movement that would correspond to the participants' movement, which meant using 4 trackers. Ideally, if you haven't read the story, this is something, if you're a young person, that inspires you and then you want to read it after that, which is one of the main reasons we wanted to make it in virtual reality, because the technology is so novel, it's so new that most people haven't even experienced it yet. And I think that when you have a great work of art, when you have a great story, each new medium gives birth to a new interpretation of that story. And so it doesn't mean that it takes away from what you imagine or experience when you first read Kafka's Metamorphosis. Rather, it's meant to give you a new perspective on that piece.